Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Grade 9. Hello, how are you again? Okay, so let's try to solve some problems in your revision sheet. And let's start with vectors because we solved some questions in the video of the acceleration and free fall acceleration. Okay, so before we get started, I'd just like to correct question was in the revision sheet. This question was wrong. He asking which of these vector can be added, and we said before you can't add any two physical quantity if they aren't have the same unit. Okay, so which physical quantity here have the same unit? You will find this displacement and with 15 inch, and this displacement with negative 40 inch. So the only two physical quantity can be added, C and E, because they are the same physical quantity and the same unit, inch and inch, displacement and displacement. So why we can't put this displacement with them? Because yes, it's a displacement, but it's in different unit. This one with meter. Okay. Okay. Let's get to the next one. Okay, I'm gonna go to the large problems of or the essay problems of the vectors and vectors operations. Okay, this is free fall acceleration, then vector, yes, this is. Okay. Okay, he's saying a truck driver is attempting to deliver some furniture. First he traveled 8 kilometer 8 kilometer to the east, so this is 8, and then okay, this is 8, and then turn around and travel 3 west. After he get there, he turn it back and get here 3 meter. Okay, and then finally he turns again and travels 12 meter east. So he traveled again to the east, but traveled how many kilometers? 12. So this is 12 kilometers. Okay, this is 12. From here to here 12. And because from here to here 12, so this only part is equal 12 minus 3, so this is 12 minus 3, 9. So this part is 9. He asking about what? He asking about the distance he covered, and we know that the distance is the actual path that the object covered. So he at the beginning he covered 8 meters, then 3. So 8 plus 3. Okay, sorry, because I'm writing with the mouse. So 8 plus 3 plus 12. This is the total displacement that he covered. So the answer will be 23 kilometers. Okay, let's get back to the displacement. We know the displacement, the distance from the starting point to the ending point in one direction. Where is the starting point? This part. Where is the ending point? He ended where? He ended just here. Okay, so he at the beginning walk this part, which is equal 8. This part is equal 8. 8 plus 9. Okay, and 8 plus 8 is 16, so 8 plus 9 is 17. So this part is 8 and this part is 9, so the total displacement is 17. Okay, near this 17 kilometer east. Well, here you have to mention the direction because displacement is vector, so you have to mention the direction. Next one, while the following direction okay, on treasure map a pirate walks 40 meter north. Okay, so at the beginning he moved to 45 meter to the north. Okay, this is by 40 meter, 45, and then he turns and walk 7.5 east. So to the east 7.5, like this. This one is 7.5. What single straight line displacement could the pirate have taken? So he asking about the displacement from this part to this part. Okay, and in order to get this one, the displacement, you have this one by 45 and you have the upper one by 7.5. How you can get this one? Okay, because this is right angle, so you can apply the Pythagorean theory or Pythagoras, which is, say, root, this is a square, so 45 square, okay, plus 7.5 square, okay, and you will find the answer is equal 45.6. So this part will be 45.6. So we get this part, okay. Then he asking also about the displacement, and displacement has not only magnitude but also it has direction, and by getting this one we get the magnitude. So where is the direction? I said before you can get the direction, okay, of this angle or of this angle, okay. So let's get this one, because this one, this vector making an angle with the x, this angle is equal what? This angle is equal, we have to describe it or to get it. يلا بينا. We have the opposite, okay, and we have also the adjacent. The opposite is 7.5 and the adjacent is 45. So which one in the trigonometric function has the opposite and the adjacent? You will find the tan. So you'll say tan theta is equal opposite over adjacent, over opposite, which is 7.5, and the adjacent, which is 45, okay. But the answer here will be equal tan theta. I don't like to get the tan theta. I only like to get the theta itself, theta. So theta is equal what? Theta is equal, I'll move the tan to the other direction, and in this time it will called tan minus 1 or tan inverse. Tan inverse 7.5 over 45, okay. And just make it by your calculator, okay. You will find the angle will be 9.5. So the angle is 9.5, okay. Let's get to the next one, okay. Give me 1 second best to make it by my calculator. Shift sine 7.5, no, shift cosine, shift tan 7.5 divided 45. Okay, 9.46 means 9.5. Nice, خلاص. So I'm gonna erase this part. Okay, let's get to this part now. This part, okay. He asking how fast must truck travel to stay beneath an airplane that's moving by, okay, 105 kilometer per hour at an angle 25. Okay, this is truck and like to stay beneath airplane. So you know that the airplane, okay, move like this, and the truck move like this on the horizontal line. So in order to get the displacement of this truck, which is in the x-axis, there is a truck here, but this is the plane right here. So you have to get this part. This is this part, and to get this part, this is called the x component, okay. How about you can get the x component? He said that the airplane move with velocity 105, so this vector by 105, and the angle of the plane is 25, so this angle is equal 25. So you want to get the x component, and we said to get the x use the cosine. Cosine the angle times the vector. Cosine 25, cosine 25 times 105. And if you don't know why we chose the cosine, get back to our video, you will find this. Okay, so cosine okay, theta, cosine 25 times 105, it will be 95. Okay, so the answer will be 95. Means what? That this truck must walk or must get a velocity of 95 to stay beneath this airplane. Let's get to the number 2. What the magnitude of the vertical component of the velocity of the plane? He asking about the same question, this question. The vertical component of the plane. This is the vertical component, okay? This was the x component and this is the vector component, okay? So to get the vector component or the y component, we said to get the y, you use the sine. So sine the angle is equal 25, sine 25 times the vector. The vector is 105, times 105. Okay, so sine 25 times 105 is equal 44. So the answer will be 44 kilometer. Okay, 44 kilometers. Okay, that's fine. Let's get to the quizzes. Okay, we just like to solve them very fast. Okay, we don't have much time. So positive velocity and positive acceleration. Positive times positive equal positive. So that means it's speeding up. Acceleration is defined as change in the velocity over the time. This one. Next one. On the velocity time graph. Velocity time graph. Here is velocity and here is time. A horizontal line indicate what? Horizontal means what? Like this. Horizontal. So that means that the velocity with passing the time is still constant. يعني mean after 1 it's 10, after 2 it's 10, after 3 seconds it's 10. So that means it has constant velocity. Next one. If a scooter has a negative acceleration, this always means what? Negative acceleration. Okay, negative acceleration. Write the rule of the acceleration: v final minus v initial over delta t. Okay, so in order to make this acceleration by the negative, this quantity, which is delta v, had to be in the negative sign, because time is not ever in the negative. So this one will be in the positive, the one who changed the delta v. So how you can make the delta v is equal negative? You have to make the v initial larger than the v final, because when you make مثلا 5 minus 10, if the v initial 10 and the v final 5, the answer will be negative 5. Negative 5 over any delta t like 2 مثلا, it will be, the answer will be negative 2.5. So the answer will be with negative, and here the acceleration will be with the negative. So we say when the initial velocity is greater than the final velocity. Next one. In the velocity time graph, the slope of the line represents the distance, the speed, the acceleration, the displacement. Okay, right, or just graph. This is velocity time, and he asking about the slope. Okay, so the slope v over t equal a, delta v over t equal la. So this slope is representing the acceleration. Next one. When a velocity and acceleration have opposite sign, opposite time is negative equal negative, so the car is slowing down. Next one. An object moves with a constant acceleration, its displacement is given by what? Okay, constant acceleration. Okay, ماشي, constant acceleration. and he just like to get the displacement. We said two rules for the displacement. The first one was to get the displacement we take v initial o plus v final times over 2 times delta t. Okay, but we didn't find this one here. صح? Yes, we don't صح, we don't have this one. So another x, which is second motion equation, equal عشان تبقى vet, so vet half h square, half a t square. Okay, so this one is right. Next one, a ball dropped from rest, show increasing the spacing between the position in each equal time interval. This means what? So when the pole dropped like this, okay, and in each equal time the distance between the pole increased. So this is the first time, this is the distance. After the if it was, for example, 1 second, after another 1 second the distance increased like this, the ball here. So that means what? That means that this speed or this pole is increasing its speed. Okay, since it increasing the distance covered at the 1 second, so that means it increasing its velocity or increasing its speed. So the velocity is increasing. So what does it mean by the velocity is increasing? There is no velocity increasing here. We mean that we have acceleration. Which one here have acceleration? This one. Acceleration is constant. That means that we have acceleration. Okay, so next one, car slows down from 12 to 0 where the acceleration is equal -3. How long does it take? How long? So he asking about the delta t. Delta t is equal v final minus v initial over a. So v final is equal 0 minus v initial 12, -12 over a is equal -3. So negative with negative, so 12 over 3 equal 4. For what? Delta t, so seconds. Next one, stroller start from rest, v initial equal 0 at 0.50 meter per second. This is acceleration because it's meter per second square. How far does it travel? So he asking about the x. Okay, do you have the time or you don't have? So you don't have the time, and since you don't have the time, we use the final equation. Okay, so final equation is equal what? V final square equal 2ax. Okay, but here we have the time. I didn't see the time. So okay, time is exists, so we're gonna use something else. Okay, so he asking about how far, and we have already the time, so so we can use this equation. X is equal, we have v initial and v final, right? No, we don't have the v final. Okay, so we have to write the second one, half, not half, sorry, عشان تبقى vet. So vet half your it. So vet plus half a t square. Okay, so v initial is equal, start from it, so this part is 0. So the second part is half times a. This part is the total part is 0, so because 0 times time equals 0. Half times a, half times a is equal 0.50, so 0.50 times t squared. T is equal 4, so 4 square. Okay, so the x will be equal the x will be equal 4. For what? This x, so 4 meter. Okay, yalla, next one. A car accelerates uniformly from 5 with acceleration 10 and cover 100 meter. Find the final speed. V final. Okay. So V final. ماشي. Do you have the time? You don't. So you have to use the final equation. V final square equal V initial square 2ax. ماشي. And we don't have the V final. You don't need to get the V final square. So to cancel the square, we put here root. Okay. So root 2 times the acceleration is equal 10 times the x equal 100, and the v plus v initial, and the v initial is equal it's accelerates uniformly from 5, so plus 5 square. Okay, so the answer will be 45. V final will be 45. Okay, V final equal 45. And then find the time needed to cover this distance. He asking about the time. As we said here, time is equal V final minus V initial over A. Okay, we get the V final and we have the V initial. So V final 45 minus V initial equal V initial is equal 5. Okay. Okay. Over A equal what? A equal 10. So 40 over 10 is equal 4. And this is the time needed. So for what? 4 seconds. Okay, this is the time and this is the V final. Let's get to the next one. Okay, this is the model answer. Okay, and this quiz, I know this is for the acceleration. Most of these questions are the same. Okay. Okay. Type. I'm gonna take some question, not all of this quiz. Like what? The speed of car will increase. Okay. If the will increase if we get the final sign positive. So هنا positive and 0. Okay. And this one positive and positive. So positive and positive, so the speed increase. And here positive and negative, so positive times negative be negative. And negative times positive, negative times positive, برضو negative. Okay, so this one is positive. So we can say the speed of the car will increase if the initial velocity is positive and the acceleration is positive. Okay? Okay, so this is P. Let's get to scooter negative acceleration. Which of the following statements is true? Okay, so if it has negative acceleration, we said the initial velocity is larger than, we solved this before in the last quiz. Yalla, get to this one. The jogger is at rest from this one because the velocity is constant. This right or wrong? Here the velocity is constant. It means that in this part this object is moving with certain velocity here. If it was 10, so he moving here with 10. Okay, it's not, or it doesn't change its velocity in this time, but that doesn't mean that this object at rest. But where is must be at rest? So it at rest from D to E, because the velocity here is equal what? Is equal 0. Here is 0. So this one is at rest. So DE is C. Okay, during which interval does the jogger have a constant positive velocity? Positive velocity. Okay, to be constant and positive velocity. Okay, here it has constant positive velocity and here it has constant positive velocity, because if it here about 50, after half a second, so it's also 50. After 30 after مثلا about if this was مثلا 3 seconds, so here it's still 50. So this one is constant speed or constant velocity, and here also it constant velocity at the same time it's positive, so here and here. So this one is A and BC, 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 this one. So 5A, تمام. During which interval the speed, not the velocity, the speed of the jugger decrease. The speed decrease where? Number 7. Speed decrease. Okay, so speed decrease. Here speed is decreasing. Okay. And here speed is decreasing. And here speed is decreasing. Okay. Velocity here was 0 and then became, no, this one not decreasing, this one is increasing, so we can't say this one because the velocity was 0 and then they became or it becomes about مثلا 10 or -10. Yes, it's -10, but it means in the opposite direction. It doesn't mean that this is decrease. It increased but in the opposite direction. Okay, so this one, okay, but something we have to say, he's asking about the speed, okay, not the velocity. So speed here is decreasing or increasing? Speed here is decreasing. No, speed is the increasing. Okay, still increasing. And speed here from 50 to 10, so speed is decreasing here, and the speed is decreasing here. So we can use AB or CD, but we can't say EF because EF is speed is increasing, not decreasing. Okay. Number, yes. So we said we can say 7. We can say AB or CD. AB this part or CD this part. But we can't say this part, okay? This part is wrong because it's increasing from 0 to -10. -10 doesn't mean this is a small value. The negative is direction. That means it increases its velocity from 0 to 10. Okay, okay. During which interval the jugular motion towards the home. Returning back towards the home. Okay. Okay, turning back towards the home. Okay, the home was where? The home was at 0, or it starts its motion with 0. Okay, so where is the home? Okay, we can say from B to A مثلا, not A to B, from B to A, or from C to B. Okay, number what? This is number 8. Okay. Okay, so we need to get back. Okay, so here he was traveling here. Okay, the velocity here or the acceleration here is with positive sign. Okay, and the velocity here with positive sign, and the velocity here with negative sign. So that means it was moving in this direction, مثلا, and this means that this moving in this direction. So in order to get back to the home, you have to use this one, because after you get very far from your starting point, to get back, you have to change the direction of the velocity, and he changed the direction of the velocity from the E to the F. Okay, because the velocity here was negative. Negative means the opposite direction of the positive. So EF. Where is EF? Okay, EF. صح, EF is right. So do we have any another negative one? EF. This one is also, it's velocity, it's constant velocity, but at the same time it's in the negative direction, so it's coming back to the home. So EF and FG.
Okay, grade 9, let's solve number 10. He asking about cat is walking with velocity 0.25. This is v initial. Sees a mouse. Okay, so it increases the speed. It accelerates uniformly at 0.40. This is the acceleration. Okay, for 3 seconds. This is the time. And he asking about the displacement. Okay, so here we have to use the second rule of motion equation. So why second rule? Because we don't have the v final, and at the same time we have the acceleration. So I wrote the second rule like this, and we have all of these variables, or we have all of these physical quantities, because v initial 0.25, t 3 plus half, la is equal 0.40, and time is equal 3 square, or time square 3 square, and the answer is 2.6. Let's get to next one. Okay, in this one, an object in free fall. Okay, no resistance, it's only affected by the gravity. That means that if there any air, it doesn't affect, because during the free fall we ignoring the air resistance, and it undergo downward acceleration. Okay, that's right, because it the acceleration is negative 9.81, and it's always negative acceleration. Okay, down acceleration. Okay, has acceleration magnitude 9.81. That's right, so this one is all of the above. An object in free fall, okay, experience increase in speed 9.81 during each second. Increase, no decrease in the speed. During falling, the speed decrease. Okay, and sorry, during falling the speed increase. Yes, the speed increase, but we say the velocity increase because it's a speed with direction. The velocity increase, so we can say speed. Moves downward only. No, that we can throw any object upward and use the rule or the motion, the rules of the free fall motion or free fall acceleration. Undergo velocity decrease 9.81. Yes, velocity, this one is right, but this one is wrong. Speed is wrong, velocity is right. Decrease in 9.81 during each second. Yes, each second the speed or the velocity, no, the velocity is decreased by amount 9.81. So this one is C. Okay, the displacement of the object undergo free fall is proportional to what? Okay, he is asking about the displacement. Okay, and here we have the time. So x is equal that plus half h square. And since v initial is 0 because it's a fall from rest, so this part is equal 0. 0 times t, so all of this part is equal 0. And they are constant. A is constant because this is free fall acceleration and this constant acceleration. So the A is directly proportional with t square. This one. Then the final velocity of an object undergo free fall from the rest is proportional to what? Final velocity. Okay. Okay, we have two rules for the v final. And v final square equal v initial square plus 2ax. And this one fall from rest, so this one is equal 0. And to get the v final, not the v final square, you're gonna put root 2ax. and to 2 is constant, to A is constant, so remove the constant. So V final directly proportional with root x. Okay, this one. Okay, let's get to number 5. The graph below show the motion of 4 objects. Which of the following lines represent an object in free fall? Object in free fall. Okay, and this is velocity and this is time. So to be in free fall, that means that your velocity decrease, and here your velocity decrease. Okay, جميل, until this point. Then your velocity increase in the opposite direction, because here is 10 مثلا, negative 10, and here is negative 20. So that means from this point your velocity increase. You mean what? This is mean that the pole at the beginning was falling and then it rising up. So this is right. We can say I is free fall, and in this case the velocity increasing, and when the velocity increasing, that means that the pole is sitting down, or the pole is falling down. So this one is also right. Let's get to this one. The velocity is constant, so this one is not free fall. Let's get to this one. The velocity here, the velocity, okay, negative. The velocity is negative, and okay, the velocity is negative, and at the same time the velocity decreasing. Okay, and then the velocity is positive and the velocity decreasing. The velocity is positive and decreasing means what? It getting up, so this is because it's positive, and at the same time increasing. No, during its positive velocity, so it decreasing its velocity. So this one is wrong, because in this part during getting up, here means the velocity increase, and the velocity increase in the opposite direction, in the positive direction, and in the acceleration the velocity doesn't increase in the positive direction. It increases only in the negative direction. Okay, so I and 3I, this one. Okay, leave this one. Okay, and leave this one. Okay, no problem, because it's gonna take much time. And okay, the displacement, okay, this is following the same. Let's get to the 9 and 10. A juggler threw ball vertically upward above reach. Sketch a graph of a ball, speed versus time. Show the motion of the ball from the moment it leaves. Okay, but this graph is speed versus time. Keep that in your consideration. Speed here, and here is time. Here is time. Okay, so he need to show the motion of ball from the moment it leaves the juggler's hand to moment of the juggler catch it. So you know that the pole is rising up and then getting back. Okay, so during rising up the speed decrease, so I'm gonna write it or draw it like this. And during its falling down the speed increase, so I'm gonna draw it like this. Yalla, next one. A climber through a rope with velocity 3. Okay, this is V initial. Downward to another climber 4. Okay, يعني means the first climber was here, okay, and second climber is 4 meters below, like this here, and this distance is equal 4 meters. From this to this, 4 meters. Okay, So he threw the rope. He threw the rope from here to get to his friend. What is the rope velocity when it reaches to the lower climber? The velocity, it means the V final when it gets here. Okay, and assume there is no air resistance. So you need the V final. Okay, and you have the displacement or the Y. Okay, do you have the time? No, you don't have. So we have to get or have to use the final equation. So V final square equal V initial square to a Y. Instead of X, we say Y in the free fall. Okay. V initial is 0 because he was catching the rope in his hand and then leave the rope, so V initial is 0. Okay? No, but he said here, okay, I said to you, if he mentioned that the initial velocity was number, so don't remove it. He mentioned that he threw the rope with velocity 3, so we can't cancel the V initial. So the V initial is equal 3. Okay, I just like to cancel this square and put here root, and I'll say here root 3 square. Okay, and here 2 times LA equal 9.81, negative 9.81, but don't forget to move this negative out of the power. Negative 9.81. Okay, time is y is equal what? 4 meter. So you have to put in your calculator root 2 times negative 9.81 times 4, okay, plus 2 square. Okay, the answer will be what? Okay, give me 1 second to make it. Okay, the answer will be negative 9.3. Negative 9.3 meter per second. Okay, that's nice. Let's get to the next one. The next, inshallah, yalla. Okay, in the diagram, the length of the vector. Okay, we said that the length represents the magnitude. Okay, which of the following quantities used to describe the motion? Before I go to number 2, here if the length was 10, so the magnitude is 10, and this one with higher length, so the magnitude should be higher. It's 12, or 15. So the next one, which of the following quantities is used to describe motion? عايزين vector quantity. Vector, the average velocity is vector. Next one, vector remains unchanged when it move parallel. Okay. Next one, which of the displacement when added in the order given will yield the displacement d1 plus d2 plus d3. Okay, so we have to draw this one, d1, this one. Okay, d1 plus d2, this is d2. d3, this is d3. So where is the resultant from this part to this part? This is the displacement. We have to draw all of them to know which of them equal this resultant. So if you draw the first one, for example, so d3, okay, d3 like this, plus d4 like this, okay, plus d1 like this, okay, and the resultant like this. So this one is wrong because this resultant is not equal this resultant, opposite direction and not the same magnitude. Each thing is wrong. Okay, so B, let's try to get B. Okay, B. He said D2. This is D2. Okay, D2. D2 plus D1. Again, D2. It lagged. Okay. I don't know why it's lagging. Okay, D2 plus D1. Where is D1? D1 D1 like this. Plus D3. Where is D3? D3 like this. Where is the resultant? The resultant like this. So the resultant here, like the resultant here, so we have to choose B. Okay, D2 minus D1. Where is D2? This is D2. Where is D1? This is D1. Okay. So minus, we get the opposite of the second one. This is the opposite of the second one. So the answer will be D2. Okay, there is D2 plus minus D1. Like this. Okay, because this minus D1, I draw it before I get the result. And then to match the resultant or match the tail of the first vector to the head of the second vector, this is the resultant. Okay, so we have to get someone like this one, D, like this resultant, this one. Okay, let's get to the next one. In the figure, which one is right? Okay, D1 is equal D4. D1 D4. No, they are not equal. This is to the direction below and this direction is to the west, so they are different. Next one, D1 is equal negative D4. Where is D1? D1 is equal, no, negative D4 is just like this. So this one, not like this one. Next one, D2 is equal to negative 2D4. Negative 2D4. Negative 2D4. Okay, this is 4. Negative 2D4 will be just like this. Negative D4 هيبقى كده. Negative 2D4, so like this. Yes, this is right. This one D2 like negative 2D4. If vectors are moved according to the rules of triangle methods, the vector addition, then the resultant, okay, so this is vectors. To get the resultant, we set the tail of the first vector to the head of the second vector. This is the tail and this is the head to get the resultant. Okay, so tail of the first vector to the tail of the last vector. Skier slide onto horizontal patch, okay, of slushy snow at velocity v كذا and slows down. Okay, slows down at constant speed without changing the direction. Okay, so what does it mean by that? The velocity was just like this, for example 100 km/h, yeah, and he said that he slowed down. Slow down means what? The magnitude decreased. Okay, the magnitude decreased like this. It equal مثلا 50. It's an example, it's not a real number. So the second vector relative to the first vector is less than. So which one is less than but in the same direction? So this one. Less than and then same direction. We can say negative because this one is positive, so this one is also has to be positive. What is the major difference between a vector quantity and a scalar? Vector need magnitude and direction, scalar need only magnitude. Yalla, last one. Bicycle carrier accept a package and bikes 3 blocks to the intersection of the street. Okay, so at the beginning he start to move 3 blocks. First block, second block, third block. Okay, then match to the intersection of the street shown in the address label, encountering road construction, the carrier deteriorates كمل by continuing one block. So another one block. So these are 4 blocks. Okay, then 1 block north. Okay, this is 1 north. Then 1 block west. This is 1 block west. Okay, then 1 block no, then 2 block north. So this is 2 block north. What's the resultant displacement? Okay, so the resultant from the tail of the first vector or the starting point to the ending point, like this. ماشي? Okay, so he asking about what? عايز ال displacement magnitude and also direction. So this part is equal 3 and this one is 1. So 1 plus 3 is equal 4. And this one was 1. And this one was 1. And this one was 2. So in order to get this one, we have to apply the Pythagorean theory. Match this one to get the right angle. So this is the right angle. This side is 3 because here we have 2 and this part is 1, so this part is 3. And this part is also 3. So you can get this part. How you can get it? Root 3 squared plus 3 squared. Okay, 3 squared plus 3 squared. The answer will be, give me 1 second. Okay, the answer will be 4.2. 4.2. And then we have to get this angle. Okay, what we have the opposite and we have the adjacent, so we will use tan. Okay, so tan theta is equal what? Is equal opposite, which is 3, over adjacent, which is also 3. But we don't like to get the tan theta. We only need the theta. So turn this tan into the other side with tan inverse. So I'll say tan inverse 3 over 3. Tan inverse 3 over 3. How you can make tan inverse by your calculator? Shift tan 3 over 3. It will give you 45, and the angle is 45 degree. So this angle is 45. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stop here. Okay, the rest of the sheet, you have the rest of the sheet because I don't have any space. The video is gonna close after about 1 minute or less than 1 minute. Thank you so much. Whenever you think you have any question in any part of this revision sheet, don't fear, just get to the WhatsApp or the Edu page and ask me, and no problem with that. Thank you so much.